All right. So next up for our Gold Partner interviews, we are talking with CDS, Michael Milicevic. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you're having a great fest so far.
I am. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, good. Okay, so we're going to talk about innovation, service, and community in eDiscovery. Does that sound good?
That's great. Yep.
Awesome. So jumping in, what's unique about the needs of your clients in this moment for the legal space, and how have innovations like the cloud and AI evolved their projects, their requirements, what they need from you as a partner?
Sure. So I think there's kind of two unique kind of transformative processes that all of our clients are experiencing right now in the legal space. And the first one, of course, is like an industry-wide transition, migration to the cloud. And the second one, I think we've been talking about quite a bit today, generative AI, right? The impact that generative AI is having not only on the legal industry, but really, every industry all at once.
Yeah.
So, I would say in terms of migration to the cloud, one of the things that we see again and again, and kind of a common story from our law firm clients, is that they take a look at their server environments. They understand that there's an impending deadline to move all of this data over to the cloud. Oftentimes they have hundreds or even thousands of legacy workspaces, and they just don't know where to start. So that's kind of issue one, and then more of a downstream consideration is, well, what do we do? How do we avoid being in that same situation once we go into the cloud? How can we more effectively manage our data kind of from the get-go?
Right.
And so at CDS, what we've done is we actually developed a tool to help facilitate that transition. It's called Auto Archive. And so when it comes to just kind of organizing your matters and understanding what you have and what you can arm and what you can migrate, we can deploy the application and based on user workspace activity, you can kind of pick and choose what's going over and what's coming down. And then once that data makes it into Relativity One, we're able to actively manage workspaces, again based on user login activity, and automate the way workspaces move from a full active storage to cold storage, again based on user activity. So basically what we're trying to do is smooth out this transition and make it easier for our clients to move to Relativity One, because they all want to, right? Certainly you hear a lot about AIR and all the success that clients who are using are having, and I think everyone would like to experience that as soon as they can.
Yeah.
The second part of that, and I'm looking at the clock running down, and I know there's other questions coming, right?
Ignore the clock. We're good.
But in terms of generative AI, I think at this point everyone understands the transformative potential of generative AI, right? So like when you have your kids and your grandparents going on ChatGPT and asking questions and being wowed by the information that they get back, I think everyone would agree that there's a lot of transformative potential there, right? But when it comes to the practice of law, to the legal field, I think you need to do more than just demonstrate the potential of a technology, right? You have to provide clients with ways that they can practically apply those solutions in a defensible and repeatable way. And so that's one of the things that we strive to do at CDS. We've built out actually a 3-phase, 7-stage workflow for the application of Relativity AIR. It's defensible, it's repeatable, and basically what we're trying to do is kind of build it into our clients' day-to-day casework and operations. So it kind of, it's there without thinking about it, right? And then also we look for other ways to deploy generative AI in for practical means, whether that's documents that are handwritten, that might require a higher level of OCR, which LLMs are great at, or analyzing images. So I think those are the two main challenges and kind of how we're trying to help address and guide our clients through those.
That's great. I love it. There's just so much to do and try and think about, and having some re-engineered, repeatable process that they can just plug right into and move along, I'm sure is insanely valuable.
Yeah.
Great.
We hope so.
Yeah. So if a client were to ask you what your team's most important habits are for delivering exceptional service, what would you tell them?
Two habits that kind of spring to mind right away. The first one is something that we call extreme responsiveness, and I see our VP of client service sitting in the front row here, Corey Logan, right? So he's really the architect behind this framework. So I'm going to do my best to try and explain that, and you can correct me after the fact, or just get up here, right? So what I mean by extreme responsiveness is more than just the speed in which you, pick up a client request, right? That's certainly important when a client sends a request, like let's say for a production, they want to know that someone's on it, right? But going beyond that, it's also the follow-up and providing insight into the processes that are going on behind the scenes. Right? So I think, my background is as attorney technologist and project manager, and so are a lot of folks on our team. I feel like when a client has to ask, like, hey, what's going on with this? Like, we've kind of failed at extreme responsiveness, right? Picking it up is just getting it part of the way through. You have to see it all the way and make sure that that they're aware of what's going on. So that's the first habit. And then the second habit, and I guess this touches more on my department. I head up the product team at CDS. Is a technology-enabled solutions approach, right? So, and what I mean by that is, let's say that we get a request from a client. We have many Relativity certified administrators, experts, and masters on staff, but they're more than just taskmasters and button pushers, right? We want to be collaborative and consultative and really true partners to our clients. And so we're aware of all of the great tools that Relativity has to offer and all of the amazing third-party solutions. We've, of course, built our own proprietary solutions as well, right? So we want to make sure that we're in a position to suggest the best approach to solve a client's problem or to execute on their request.
Love that. Yeah, that's great. I think as we're all here at Fest, having all these conversations, learning new things together, that collaborative piece and responsiveness piece really comes across in so many of us. So thinking about it like that as we're marching into the latter half of the last day of Relativity Fest here, what for you makes the eDiscovery space in general just such a unique and rewarding professional area?
Sure, yeah, so you left the fun question for the end,
Yes.
right? So I guess this is more, more of my experience. So I think like a lot of my colleagues, attorney technologists, in this space, when I was in law school, there were no classes on eDiscovery. It was like, what? And so the story of how I got involved in eDiscovery is a tale for another time, I would say. But what I really love about this space, right, is as an attorney, my expectation was that, okay, I'm entering an adversarial profession, right? There's always some opposing party that's trying to win. And what the experience has been for me in eDiscovery is really a community. A collaborative community. We're all here, and Relativity does an outstanding job of kind of bringing this community together. So whether you're a legal practitioner, or you work in-house at a corporation or a service provider like I am right now, right? We're all together, we're kind of in the same boat, and we're trying to use technologies in the best ways possible to solve new and emerging data types and to leverage generative AI, right? We're all working toward the same end goal. And I feel like that's something that I did practice for a little bit, and that's certainly not the experience that that I had in that kind of former life, but it's something that I really love about working in this industry right now.
Great, I love to hear that. Well, thank you so much. This has been so great. Thank you for joining us on stage, Michael.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me.